Good Wednesday, everyone, and welcome to this edition of Conversations Daily News. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again. We, of course, have your news headlines coming up on this Wednesday. We have the Truth of the Day with Mary Ellen Ciganovich, and in today's Entertainment Spotlight, you're being part of my conversation with recording artist Connor. Enjoy today's broadcast. For Conversations Daily News, I'm Cyrus Webb with your Wednesday headlines. In national news, officials say gun in supermarket shooting about 6 days earlier. Police on Tuesday identified a 21-year-old man as a suspect who opened fire inside a crowded Colorado supermarket, and court documents showed that he purchased an assault weapon less than a week before the attack that killed 10 people, including a police officer. Supermarket employees told investigators that the shooter shot an elderly man multiple times on Monday outside the Boulder grocery store before going inside, according to the documents. Another person was found shot in a vehicle next to a car registered to the suspect's brother. Authorities said the shooter was from a Denver suburb and that he engaged in a shootout with police inside the store. The suspect was being treated at a hospital and was expected to be booked into the county jail later in the day on murder charges. Investigators have not established a motive, but they believe he was the only shooter, the Boulder County District Attorney said. In Washington, President Joe Biden called on Congress to tighten the nation's gun laws. 10 lives have been lost and more families have been shattered by gun violence in the state of Colorado, Biden said at the White House. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer vowed to bring forward 2 House-passed bills to require expanded background checks for gun buyers. Biden supports the measures, but they face a tougher route to a passage in a closely divided Senate with a slim Democratic majority. The suspect purchased the assault weapon just 6 days before the shooting on March the 16th, according to the arrest affidavit released on Tuesday. It was not immediately known where the gun was purchased. The shooting came 10 days after a judge blocked a ban on assault rifles passed by the city of Boulder in 2018. That ordinance and another banning large-capacity magazines came after the 2018 mass shooting at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida, that left 17 dead. The judge struck down the ordinance under a Colorado law that blocks cities from making their own rules about guns. In more national news, missteps could mar long-term credibility of AstraZeneca shot. AstraZeneca's repeated missteps in reporting vaccine data, coupled with a blood clot scare that could do lasting damage to the credibility of a shot that is the linchpin in the global strategy to stop the coronavirus pandemic, potentially even undermining vaccine confidence more broadly, experts said. The latest stumble for the vaccine came Tuesday when American officials issued an unusual statement expressing concern that AstraZeneca had included outdated information when it reported encouraging results from a U.S. trial a day earlier. That may have provided an incomplete view of the efficacy data, according to the statement. AstraZeneca responded that the results, which showed its shot was about 79% effective, included the information through February the 17th, but appeared to be consistent with more up-to-date data. It promised an update within 48 hours. Even if the damage is limited to AstraZeneca itself, it would have far-reaching effects since the shot is cheaper and easier to store than many of its rivals and thus is expected to be widely used in the developing world. International health agencies have repeatedly said the vaccine is safe and effective, but it's not the first time the company has run into problems with public trust. In more national news, jury set for ex-cop's trial in Floyd's death starts Monday. A jury has been seated for the trial of a former Minneapolis police officer in George Floyd's death, with opening statements set for next Monday in a case that led to weeks of protests and a national soul-searching about racial justice. The final juror was chosen on Tuesday, wrapping up a process that took more than 2 weeks and was complicated by worldwide attention to Floyd's death, even before the city of Minneapolis announced a $27 million settlement to his family during the 4th day of jury selection. Attorneys and the judge worked through more than 100 people, dismissing most because they acknowledged strong views about an encounter that was captured on bystander video. The panel now includes 15 jurors. 12 will deliberate with 2 alternates. Judge Peter Cahill has said he will excuse the extra juror when opening statements begin on Monday if the 14 others still are able to serve. And finally, in entertainment news, Disney shifts Black Widow and doubles down on streaming. The Walt Disney Company on Tuesday overhauled its upcoming film release plans, postponing some of its biggest films and shifting Marvel's Black Widow, among other titles, to Disney Plus the same time they arrive in theaters. Black Widow, once planned to debut in May 2020, had been set to kick off the summer movie season on May the 7th. It will instead premiere July the 9th, and it will do so simultaneously on the company's streaming platform for a $30 early access fee. Cyrus Webb, Conversations Daily News. It's on time for the Truth of the Day with Mary Ellen Ciganovich. Mary Ellen, take it away.
Hi, this is Mary Ellen with your Truth of the Day. Remain relaxed and calm. Release the temptation to engage in conflict with those who have differing beliefs or opinions. Learn to see such conflicts as opportunities for you to let go of trying to convince others of your beliefs. Detach yourself from any struggle while you focus on staying centered and calm. Complete this exercise anytime you feel others are trying to unduly influence you. When you are able to reconnect with whomever you had a conflict with, find neutral ground to establish a productive friendship. If this is not a possibility, you may have to just let go. Today, avoid conflict by detaching from your emotional responses, and enjoy the day.
Recording artist Connr is featured in today's Entertainment Spotlight, right here on Conversations Daily News. For Conversations Daily News, I'm Cyrus Webb with the Entertainment Spotlight. Recording artist Connr joined me this week on Conversations Live, the radio show, to talk about his musical journey. Here's a bit of our conversation.
I wanted to kind of talk about what music has meant for you. I've been talking a lot to our audience about how music has kind of helped us to get through this time. How has music kind of helped you, especially through the last year, Connr, in being able to keep going?
Well, I would say music has always been a really important part of my life, and really in the past year, I think the silver lining is just sort of being able to dive more into it and be more creative. And yeah, I mean, overall, music has always played just such an important role in my life, and so this last year has been pretty crazy, but if anything, I think it's just brought out more creativity.
Got you. Well, you've been able to find success not only, as a solo artist yourself, but also, working with others as well. Does it just seem like a natural progression for you, Connr, that just creating is something that you were drawn to?
I think it all seemed very natural. It just everything that has happened in my musical career and the way things evolved, I would say everything just seemed to pan out pretty naturally.
And the fact that you've been able to not only find an audience that has appreciated your music, but also followed you, what has that experience been like for you to see the way that your music has impacted others?
Yeah, so that happened quite a bit in my last band, Next Door to the Moon. We were playing together for several years, and we released a song called Can't Quit It. And it sort of sat there for like a few months, and then it got put on a Spotify playlist, like an actual editorial playlist. And then from there, we just started getting messages from all sorts of people saying how much they loved the song and how much it meant to them. And
Cyrus Webb, Conversations Daily News. We thank you all for tuning in to this edition of Conversations Daily News. We'll be back with you guys on tomorrow with more news, Truth of the Day with Mary Ellen Ciganovich, and of course your Entertainment Spotlight. Until then, I'm your host, Cyrus Webb, saying as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Thank you all for choosing Conversations Daily News today. Let's make it a great one.